Hey, I'm Jim Search, and welcome to Understanding Upstate, the podcast dedicated to exploring what makes upstate New York such a unique place. Each week, my co-host, Rob Adler, and I dive into a new upstate topic to better understand what's up upstate. And this week, I'm very excited to say that we have an interview with a wonderful comedian, and I consider this dude one of my homies. He's been really pushing upstate comedy forward in the last few years. Stephen Brown. So we've got a great interview on deck here. So I hope y'all dig it.
Yeah, no, it's I'm excited for all of our Speedy Freaks and, of course, the Rattlesnake Pete's.
Can't forget them.
To hear it. No, and you shouldn't, and I never would. Never would.
Never.
And yeah, for anyone who's joining us for the first time, thanks for being here. Any of Steven's fans,
sure.
Thanks for joining us. For the aforementioned Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's, just a little background on Steven. Again, he's a comedian from upstate New York, specifically working in Binghamton and the surrounding Triple City area, which we, of course, love here on Understanding Upstate.
That's right.
And he's, relatively new to comedy, right? He started, I believe, in 2021.
Yeah.
His stand-up career. And despite that, he's doing some really cool things in terms of building community, which, other comedians might not do until much later into their career. And yeah, I was just really impressed with everything he's been doing. Mm-hmm. And yeah, was surprised to learn it's, he started in 2021, just with everything I had known about the Crooked Mouth Comedy Festival, and how much of a success that was. It's pretty cool that he's putting all this effort into really developing the community there. Jim.
Yes.
That's enough of me rambling.
Sure.
Should we just get into our conversation with Steven?
Yes. Let's talk to him. Let's get him on the horn here. Steven, first off, I want to say it's great to have you on the show, bud. We've worked together over the last few years, and it was like a no-brainer of just like, you know what, if we're doing a podcast about upstate New York, who better than to talk to than somebody who really, in my opinion, has really helped build a scene of stand-up comedy, one of the big players up there. So again, thank you so much for hanging out with us, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for thinking of me and having me. Anytime with Jim is a good time. Well, determined with Rob, but I'm sure it'll be great.
We'll see.
Yeah, no, Rob's fun too. But I can understand why you might say that because you just met him.
I did.
Yeah.
So you know what? Let's jump right to it. Let's get into it. So I figured we should start kind of at the beginning, even beginning of your career in comedy, and maybe a little bit before. But like, what got you into stand up? What pushed you in?
When it first became like a reality in my life, I had just kind of come through a divorce, and I reconnected with an old buddy who also had it at the same time. And the only common day we both had without our kids was every other Monday.
Okay.
And so we would just go meet up at Kelly's, and it happened to be the same night they had an open mic.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And so for a year and a half before I started doing comedy, we would just go to the open mic every other week just to hang out and bullshit.
Interesting. So you were there, like, did it eventually become a thing where you just went to go watch them open mic, or was it like, hey, let's go, it just so happened? Like, I'm trying to envision this.
Yeah, like it started as, let's just go meet up at Kelly's.
Got it.
And then it happened like, oh, the mic is happening. That's cool.
Sure.
It became like one of those things where we would sit closer to it every couple of weeks, So
if it was the slam poetry night, you would be had a totally different trajectory, is what you're saying.
Well, I probably wouldn't have waited a year and a half to start.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like sitting at a slam poetry mic, it's like after a week, it's like, yeah, all right, I could probably go up there and traumatize some people.
Sure.
Oh, absolutely. I could be loud. No.
So you waited a year and a half, to get in.
Yeah, what happened was Brian fell in love and started bringing this girl with him.
Okay.
And so she would be hanging out and she'd be like, you're funny here at the table. Why don't you go do this? And I was like, well, it's different bullshitting with your buddies than like writing a joke. Then she was like, you know what? Well, my birthday is in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So for my birthday, you're doing a set.
Wow.
So it was essentially a dare.
So she started your career.
Yep. So it's all Emily's fault if you don't like it.
Blame her.
Yeah.
So then, I think that's a great segue then of, what was it like to prepare for your first set? Like, how did that feel?
I had more gin than I would have felt comfortable with now at this point in my life. But at that point, and you're there exposed to it long enough, if you're, kind of a silly person anyway, you always have that notes folder of, oh, that's a funny thing. Maybe one day.
Sure.
So I had a fair amount of terrible premises.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it didn't take terribly long to write that first 3.5 minutes.
Right.
And oddly enough, one of those jokes I still do.
That's funny.
All this time later. Yeah.
I mean,
the rest of them have died a very quick death.
Sure.
But one of them held on.
It's funny, just as a quick aside, like I still have like jokes, like one of the first jokes I've ever written, like made it on my album. And I still sometimes use it as a closer. But it's interesting to hear you say that too, of just like, I found like an old folder of just like jokes that I had written when I started, like on my like Google Drive, and didn't age well.
No, it's that common pitfall of like a lot of new, embarrassingly mostly younger comics, but I was 40 when I did it. But it's just like, oh, if I'm gonna get any reaction, it's better than a laugh. It's like, no.
Yeah.
It's like you're just being an edgy piece of shit.
Yeah, that's that. And
thankfully the crowds will tell you that sucks quick.
Sure. Yeah. I feel like regardless of where you do stand up, the crowd will be the equalizer. And having done some comedy in upstate New York, I can say that there's a lot of folks up there at a show who don't know that this is like kind of a one-way street, and will be like, say, hey, I want to talk about that thing too.
Dude, we did a show last night at the Airport Inn in Johnson City.
Okay.
And we were warned by the bar manager, there's one guy there who's always a problem.
Right.
If you need to yell at him or shut him up, like just tell him and we'll get him out of there. And he had something to say during everyone's set. But anytime we directly asked him something, fucking crickets.
Sure.
And it was just like, Jesus Christ.
I mean, that is kind of like the mindset of a heckler, right? Or someone who's engaging on the crowd. It is in it of itself I feel like a pretty cowardly thing to do, because you want the attention of someone who's on stage, but you don't want any of the risk. So the best way to do that is to engage with you, the comedian on stage. So now people are listening to me, but I don't have to stand up there. Yeah. So
it's true.
Don't heckle Steven.
We'll get him on the podcast next week and get to the bottom of it.
I'm pretty sure you can find him near a bridge.
Sure.
Or living underneath one, perhaps.
He's got lots of riddles, I'm sure.
This sounds like a great episode.
This sounds great. I feel like we should get into that.
We'll go to the Airport Inn on a Tuesday night and you can find him.
Perfect.
I feel like a lot of my Tuesdays are booked up now. Now that I think about it, for the foreseeable future, I will always be busy on every Tuesday. So, all right. So going back to your first set, right? I'm interested in just like what it felt like after, because I know how it felt like the first time I had done stand up. Coming off stage, I know where my head was, but I'm curious what was going through your mind when you got off stage?
Oh, I was terrified the entire time going up.
Sure.
I did what should have been about 6 minutes in about 3.
Yep.
Just shit it out as quickly as possible. But also, since I'd been there so long as just a spectator, I'd become friendly with most of the people who were around.
Right.
So they were like very, very generous
Mm.
with me.
So you've now you've lost your virginity, your comedic virginity. You are now you can't go back, right? Like
no, sadly.
once you cross over into the world of an artist, you're now an artist, right? So now talk to us a little bit about what was after that, right? Because now it's like you want to do this more. So like where were you going? What was it like? What were the crowds like? What were the people like? Just give us kind of a picture of what that felt like.
Initially, I mean, for those first 3 months, it was just hitting up mics and going to local shows as much as possible. At that point, we only had the one mic. Monday, Kelly's, that was
Right.
it.
Kelly's.
You know, if you wanted to go to
Kelly's and Endicott. Just want to really lean
Yes.
into that. Endicott.
Yep. And you know, that was every other Monday because the custody, the kids were younger at that point. We go up there and then try to go to as many of the local shows as you can and just kind of start taking it in as much as possible.
Right.
And then I had a couple buddies who had venues
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of parlayed giving those relationships with Mike Peters.
Right.
And so they started doing comedy at those spots. And as a little tip of the cap, even though it clearly wasn't ready to be doing 15 minutes in front of strangers, he, you know, put me on those initial shows as kind of like the finder's fee.
Right.
You know?
Right. So you start. So Kelly's became that was the only open mic.
Yeah.
Now, how did what was kind of the progression like? Did you notice some sort of progression when you started off at those mics, or was it like, fuck, what the fuck am I doing? This feels like the same. You know, this feels like I'm saying the same thing.
Yeah. Well, as a white man, I've got a lot of unearned confidence in me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what that's like.
Yeah.
Clearly. No, and I've got a very good network of friends and people. So I was able to ride that delusion for a while of people coming out and be like, oh, this is great. I'm so glad you're doing this. It's hilarious.
Right.
You know, it's like I was lucky to have people gassing me up because otherwise I probably just would have been like, oh, right, I'm terrible because I was.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and then fade into the sunset. You know?
So then with that being said, do you remember when that wave crashed and like you got in front of people you didn't know in upstate New York and what that was like? Like
Yeah, that happened at the Hornet's Nest in Nineveh.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, which is next to a laundromat and a library that share walls.
Hilarious.
So, you know, it's a beautiful, beautiful town. And yeah, I went up there with all of my edgiest material and just ate a 14-minute shit sandwich. So much of it, like, I had, of course, my religion jokes, and there was a pastor at the show.
Hilarious.
Or priest, I don't know. They're all the same. And he goes, well, I don't agree with anything you said, but know that I'm praying for you. And it's like, oh. and I just sucked so much shit. I was like, thank you. I need it. I appreciate your grace.
Sure. And yeah, that there's really nothing worse than I'll pray for you. I feel like.
Yeah, because that's the I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed in God.
Right. Yeah. Like just really disappointed like, you thought that was gonna be something that was worth saying out loud.
Yeah, it was one of those like, well, it's just clearly you just don't know better.
Right.
Yeah.
He knows now what he speaks. Is one of those moments. So you did 14 minutes of what probably felt like an eternity, if we're gonna keep it real. So how did you get booked for that? Who put you up in Nineveh?
That one was fun. I was hanging out with Mike Peters at his apartment. I was going to be going with him to the show, and it was about an hour and a half before the show, and I think it was Mike Terry, who was supposed to be on it from Syracuse, dropped off.
Oh.
And Mike just looked over. He's like, "You want to do time?"
So
like, sure.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Very much just being there.
Now Now, did you have the now this is a great question. I mean, you were talking about like white dude unearned confidence. So
I've got it in spades.
I'm curious as to where your headspace was of like, did you have the awareness of like, oh shit, these are people I don't know? Or was it like, oh, okay, yeah, like I do this all the time at Kelly's. Let's go do it.
Yeah, I think that was actually my third show.
Okay.
And so it was my first time where it wasn't 70% people whose names I knew before they walked in the door.
Right.
So it's always like a complete safe place.
Mm-hmm.
These are people who already love me. They were going to laugh regardless if I earned it or not.
Right.
Right? Because that's what you do for your friends. Right? It's what we do for you, Jim. And
that's my whole album actually is just support group.
Yeah, and it was funny because Mike had always told me, he's like, listen, he told me once, like, you're never as good as you think, you're never as bad as you think. But you're often closer to as bad as you think. And he goes, but one day you'll see, like, the real test is when you go up in front of strangers, you'll find out what you have.
Yeah.
And that's when I found out my 14 was 3.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, you got to really start working harder.
And you got to push yourself, and you got to make those adjustments. And if you want this to be a thing, right?
Yeah, and that's why I tell people, like, new comics now, it's like that first bomb is more important than the first laugh, because that's when you'll know if you have the resolve. It's like, okay, can you wear it?
Right.
And go do it again?
And yeah, I mean, that is where
and do you learn?
Where you yeah, exactly. If you learn anything from that, and then the bombs will always be there. I mean, everybody's going to bomb at some point.
Oh, they sneak up on you. Like, I know, like, the last few months have been going really good, and I just know there's one waiting for me. It's going to be spectacular. And it's like, okay. And
you ready?
You learn to enjoy them, and it's like, all right, what can I learn from this? And usually it's like, I'm not going back to that bar.
At least for a long time. I'm gonna give that place a real break.
I'll give that one a turn the next administration.
Yeah. Now let me ask. I think you brought up an interesting point of like how you knew 70% of the people that were at the bar, because like it's different in New York, right? Like, I mean, when I was doing shows, I didn't know anybody. Like, these were booked by people. I got booked by a comedy person I knew, and there might be some people there. So it's like I kind of had that like, well, we're gonna find out real quick. Whereas like you're kind of in the easing into the world. But I guess my
training wheels.
Yeah. I guess my question is like, did you find then that like, as you started like doing shows, like those first couple shows that were like familiar to you around the Triple Cities, that you knew the people there? Because like everybody knows because it's Binghamton and the surrounding area. Everybody knows each other.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where I just shouted out, like, telling all my friends, like, hey, come do this thing. Like, you have no plans and $5. Come to the John Barleycorn.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
it was exciting for my friends. I think, half out of support and half out of like, let's watch this fucker eat.
Sure. Oh yeah. Yeah. It is a very upstate Binghamton vibe of like, I want to watch my friend fail.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then gas him up right after he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I remember my first couple shows in upstate New York, in Binghamton, when like friends of mine, and this is when I just started doing comedy, they were like fully anticipating me failing, because that is it's a very crab in a bucket mentality of like, yeah, I can't wait for Serge to fucking eat it. And I didn't because I had a really good set that night.
Well, good.
So there you go. Now, let me ask, because you've been doing comedy 3 years, right? Roughly?
Yeah, 3.5.
3.5 years. So I feel like this is a good question to ask at this point of like, share with us some of like the highlights and lowlights so far. Like, give us some of those like moments that for you were amazing, and then some of those other lowlights. And it doesn't even have to be on stage. It's all encompassing of comedy. Obviously, if we hit the stage, cool, but just know it's a bigger scope.
Sure. Well, I think like The lowlights are the moments when you realize like you're not as clever as you think you are.
Mm,
Like when you realize, like when you're trying to do like a hot button joke. Like I remember the first time I walked a woman, it
really?
was because I did like a pro-abortion joke,
R-
right? Where I was just like, it's not even like I was saying get aborted, but I was saying like, no, man, abortions are cool. Babies kind of suck. And she stood up, pointed at me, did the neck throat thing like with her thumb,
Sure.
then gave me two big thumbs down and just pieced the fuck out of the room. And listen, like it's funny looking back at it now, but at the same point, like, listen, not everyone is going to like us,
Right.
but our job is to entertain. And so if you're giving someone that kind of a reaction, your joke isn't remotely good.
Right.
It's like even if you're making a point that someone disagrees with, if there's like something clever about it, they could be like, "Oh, all right, at least I see what they were saying."
Right.
But if it's just like opinion and not even a well-formed one, it's like you deserve that.
Right. It's like what Anthony Jeselnik was saying in some interview, right? Where it's like it's getting away with it. Like
Yes,
you're supposed to get
Yeah.
away with what you're trying to say here. You're trying to make people laugh. If you're just pissing people off, then you're not doing the job that you're supposed to be doing. Right.
You're just hosting a
Yeah, you're just-
podcast, right?
Yeah.
You're,
You're just Chappelling,
Yep. You
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
you are antagonizing a group of people and then shocked when they don't like being antagonized. So there you go. Where was it? Where did this woman give you the "you'll die" and two thumbs down?
That was at Prison City Brewing in Auburn, New York.
Prison City,
Prison City Brewing, because guess what they have in that city?
a prison. They do.
Yeah, you're smart.
Yeah.
And a brewery.
And a brewery.
And
Mash them together.
I remember it was a blizzard, and it should be like an hour and 40-minute drive. It took us 2 hours and 45 minutes to get there.
Fuck.
And
Wow.
yeah, and so you got and the rest of the set went fine. At that point, I was probably like a year and a half in,
Mhm.
but it was still like a big learning moment of, well, it doesn't matter how much trust you've earned.
Right.
A bad joke is just there's no bad audience.
Right. There's just shit jokes.
Yeah.
And they will react accordingly. Like it's up to you to get them on your side.
And very rarely when you're at work do you get that real-time feedback.
Right.
It's,
Yeah.
it's not often. Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay.
Oh, this is
Like,
this isn't good.
yeah. It's like you get fired like 2 weeks after your performance review, not like in the middle of the email.
Yeah.
So,
That's a great analogy. All right, so the Prison City debacle was one of the lowlights. What are some of the highlights, man? There's got to be some real.
the last year has absolutely been full of them.
Sure.
So it's probably January of last year is when I did that first Clash of the Comics at the Funny Bone.
Right.
And I won that. There was like 10 other comics on the thing. And that was the first time when I was on stage, like halfway through, I was like, oh, this is what it's supposed to feel like. It was my most rehearsed, my most ready. And I was like, oh, if you really try and practice and like be very intentional about what you're doing,
right,
it can actually go well almost every time.
Yeah.
And that was very, very validating. And then, a couple weeks later, they asked me up to host at the Funny Bone, and I was a nervous wreck. I was so nervous just about doing all the maintenance, wait staff,
Mm-hmm.
the sponsor, the socials. And the first night it was opening for Steve Byrne, and it was sold out, 330 people in the room.
Wow.
And there wasn't a brick I was not shitting. It was, but then that first night I went back and watched the tape of it.
Right.
At the time I was like in my own head, but then I was like, oh my God, like, no, that went well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, so, but in that moment, you're just all anxiety. You're just trying to not trip.
Right.
And yeah, that's it. Because my dream my nightmare is falling over in front of 300 strangers and then watching me stand up and how long that takes. Like, that's my Vietnam, so it's
that is where my soul dies, is in that particular exact moment in time. Now, so one thing I'll say though is like when you have those like heightened moments, right? Because it's like you blink and it's over, right? Like you did your set and it felt like 30 seconds, but in actuality, what, like 10 minutes if you're hosting?
Yeah.
That for me is the sign of it going well, right? Like if you don't remember that and you're like, oh shit, it's over, versus when you know you're eating it because you know every excruciating nanosecond that you are standing in front of those 330 people and they're like, this ain't it. This is not it.
That 10 feels like 30.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. So you got your foot in the door of the Funny Bone, which again, pretty huge. Congratulations. That's really well earned. Because you really do care about comedy, and I think you really do have a vested interest in putting out fun stuff. So it's great to see when that happens. So you get in that Funny Bone, and then where does that go from there? Like once you're
from there, and it's like I keep saying, but Mike Peters, he is the heart of the Southern Tier region.
Yeah.
Of comedy. He runs multiple rooms, and I was very lucky to get in his circuit.
Right.
And just getting, at that point, I was getting a show, maybe like every 2 weeks, which felt like a ton for a guy who was just getting on his feet.
Right.
And again, Mike said, a lot of that is, I knew you weren't ready, but you're there, you're coming out, you're supporting, you're sharing, yep. You're not trying to get into shows for free,
I mean, he's such a great dude, man. And he's kind of your cloth of like somebody who really cares about comedy and like is really doing some great work up there. So I just want to give him a little quick shout out.
Without a doubt. I mean, and it's not even just for the Binghamton scene.
Right.
He gets people from Rochester, Syracuse, like all over the place. So then he's getting guys from New York City. He finds a way to get them shows for entire weekends.
Right.
Like come up on Thursday and I'll keep you working through Saturday, get your hotel. He's really figured out a way to work for everyone who's willing to come do it.
Right. And it's a great it's a great thing to see. I'll just say as somebody who grew up in Binghamton, upstate New York, I didn't start doing comedy till I moved to New York, but how great would it have been if like I was in my early 20s and you and Mike were there like and had a scene running? Like would I have had a different trajectory of like, oh shit, this looks like fun, because there's an outlet for it. I think you guys are creating an outlet for people that want to try it and want to give it a shot,
Yeah, and I think that there's so many people who would have quit if it wasn't for the opportunities that he created for us.
Right. Oh, for sure.
Because if it's, you're just doing an open mic, random, like mixed mics, and nothing comes of it because you're not working towards anything.
Right.
That's the hardest thing about being your own boss is you're only as good as the effort you put in. And it's hard to do that when you're not working towards anything. Like, I've got the show in February. I got to like really get that 10 minutes together for it.
Right. And like, what's pushing you to do that if that's the one thing you have,
Yeah. So just like without those opportunities coming from him, and then also seeing other people come around and being like, oh, it's like, yes, there's other people who are doing this, who are a little more talented, a little less talented, or equal, but they're still doing it. What do you like that they're doing? What do you not like that they're doing? Like every set was an opportunity to learn. So he kept bringing in different teachers, so to speak.
Right.
You're like, oh, so I love the way they did that. And then you say, oh, how does that influence what I do? If I did something similar, not like premise wise, but just like how you build your set.
Right.
Or how you live in a quiet moment. Like it's stuff you have to like, you don't just instinctively know.
Right. It's all this is a learned process, right? Like you have the talent, but it's like for 98%, I want to say 98% of comics, it is in fact like you are learning every single step.
Yeah, I mean, you don't just wake up and know how to hit a slider.
Right. You gotta strike.
It's like
you gotta strike out.
Take a lot of swings. Yeah,
you gotta strike out a lot. So you're now like, again, we were saying before, you're 3 years in. There's been some very, very great moments in your career, and it would be remiss of us not to say one of those being the Crooked Mouth Comedy Festival, which
Yes.
I was very lucky to be part of.
Very first person we asked.
And for that, I'm grateful. Now, so what inspired you to put this on, right? Like what was kind of the motivation behind it?
All right, so we're up to the shit talking portion of the event.
I feel like you've told me this story, but like our speedy freaks and rattlesnake Pete's out there are really gonna dig this story. But go for it.
I applied for a festival in Peekskill, New York. I don't remember what it's called, the Hudson Valley Comedy Fest or something like that.
Right.
And so you get the acceptance email and you're like, great. You post the thing on your social media, and I see some buddies. My buddy's Greg, my buddy Brian also got in. Like, dope. We'll all go down. We'll get an Airbnb. We'll make a weekend of it, right?
Sure.
We're going to have fun. We're going to go do this festival. And then the day before the festival starts, you get the email that it's not, you're expecting your set times, hey, where did we win?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you found out it's a contest. 40 people doing 3-minute sets on a Friday night.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. 40 people.
That's a lot.
And then, and if you finished in like the top 20, you get to
be in the
perform again on Sunday. So you get to stay an extra day to perform on a Sunday night.
Just put on by the Peekskill Hotel Association. That is.
Oh, and I don't remember the woman's name who ran it.
Right.
But I've never seen anyone punt warming up a crowd more aggressively than she did every time she got on stage.
Hilarious.
It was just like, y'all smoking weed, y'all drinking. And it was like, 14 people be like, sure.
Right. Like, I guess.
And she's like, all right, here comes Johnny Dipshit from Beacon. It's like, cool.
Right.
And the Saturday night when there wasn't, there was what was called the secret show.
Mm.
And the reason it was a secret is because it was bad. And what it was advertised as was just credits. Okay. So It was like, you've seen these guys on PBS, on NBC, on Red Eye, or whatever bullshit it was.
Right.
And then it was just the same people that were on Friday night that she was friends with doing like 8 minutes instead of 3.
Oh, this is I believe this is what we call a scam.
Yeah, it was total. And those tickets were $30 each.
Oh, she made a lot of money.
Made a fuck ton of money.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
wow. And I did meet some very, very, very funny people there. Boris Kuiken, Will Purpura, very, very funny guys.
Yep.
So I definitely made some friends. It wasn't a complete wash. I had a great time with my buddies. But the entire time I'm driving home in a snowstorm on Sunday night, I'm thinking, God, I can't do any worse than that.
Right.
And so I went over to Crooked Mouth, where we'd been doing shows for, at that point, a little less than a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you guys want to try this? And Josh and Sean was like, fuck yeah, pick a weekend.
That's fucking,
Yes.
And that's exactly how they would approach that, because they are very also wonderful folks that are hella supportive. So
yeah. And it was great. And I learned how to make a website. I just kind of I talked to people who had been in the community, like, what do you want in the thing? Everyone's like, industry presence. I'm like, well, this is Binghamton. So
right.
How about discounted t-shirts? Yeah.
There you go.
And a great show, right? Like,
what?
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, and that's what I was like, listen, my goal was to make sure everyone who came had at least 40 to 50 people in front of them to tell their jokes to. And that on every show, there was people from at least 5 different scenes working together who may not have ever had a chance to meet or work together.
Right.
So at least I could build those networking bonds,
Yeah.
since I couldn't really offer them, hey, the GM from the Funny Bone is here. Well, he's not, because he had 5 sold out shows in Syracuse.
Right.
So he's busy,
Right.
you know? And so that was really, really cool. And I was sweating bullets. Like 10 days before it, we'd sold 30 tickets,
Yeah.
but then by the end of the weekend, we sold out every show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
So
yeah. Nice.
yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was, as headlining one of those nights, it was one of those things where I was like, I was really proud of you, right? Because like,
Thank you.
Rob and I were talking about this before get on the show here, but like, for what you've done as far as like business wise in comedy at year 3, I would have never even this wouldn't even entered my radar. What you're doing and how you're approaching it. So like, I give you a lot of credit for that, because I like a lot of comics when they hear business or they hear like that other side of comedy, it's like they're like, I don't want anything to do with it, and I'm guilty of that, right?
Sure. Well, it's a hassle, and every month before every show, until that 39th person walks in the door and I've broken even, and it's like, oh fuck.
Right.
It never gets less nerve-wracking.
It's the best way. I mean, and like I've produced, obviously I've run shows in my life, not on the scale of like a Crooked Mouth or a festival, but like the best energy I can say is it feels like a birthday party that nobody's coming to. Like that is the energy you feel when you're running a show.
Yeah,
every
that's
month.
Terrifying.
Yeah, it's tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're absolutely right. And one thing we didn't talk about is like when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I used to do a lot of concert promotion.
Oh, okay.
So this is always something I was kind of had in my pocket. That was then it was just doing punk shows, but we had, bands come through that ended up being on MTV and playing on the All-Star Game, and stuff like that.
Right.
So I kind of had an idea of how to do it. And then again, going back to the Mike Peters, I watched what he did, and 100% just be like, I'll do it that way.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. Like, because it worked. It made sense. I watched how intentional he was about building lineups, and when he's giving new hacky guys an opportunity like myself, making sure the 2 people after him were undeniable.
Right.
So this way, like when they left, no one remembered my dumb abortion joke. Everyone just remembered that like Paul Kozlowski and Sherelle Kinder killed.
Right, exactly, and like lifts the overall quality of the show. Doesn't make you feel like a piece of shit because they're like, he didn't put you up at last, right? So that they're just like, oh my god, who the fuck was that?
No, and that really helps build comics' abilities and confidence. And like I said, if imitation is the greatest form of flattery, then no one's flattered him like I have, because I'm just doing the Peters plan.
Right. And also like as far as like building a scene, and I know Mike well enough to say that like he is pretty community oriented and would be like, hey, if I can help you run a show, or if there's something I can tell you that worked for me, he's going to do it, because you building your own scene and your side of things only helps him, because we all eat at the
anyone
same
who
table.
leaves a comedy show and had a good time is more likely to go next time they see a Facebook post about another comedy show.
Right.
Whether I'm running it, Mike's running it, whoever, it's like, no, I did that thing and I had fun. So now I know this is a fun thing that I can do in my community.
Yeah.
Any night of the week.
And
so it's,
and from what I've seen, because I see like some posts about like some independent shows being run around Binghamton. It's like, there's now other people other than you guys that are starting to run their own shows, right?
Yeah, and it's great.
It's
there's
good.
Yeah, new cat David Deo. He's hustling. He's setting up rooms, and he's like, he asked for help. I was like, listen, man, like I'm happy to like guide you through, but like I don't want to run it.
Right.
Like,
like I can give you a couple pointers, but like this is your puppy, man, and you got to raise it. So,
well, and it's also things like, oh, you're having someone else make your flyer for you? make sure you give them $20.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
if you want people to come and pay and support your show, make sure that you're doing that back at them. Because if you're not supporting your scene financially, you're just not supporting your scene.
Right. And people aren't going to, they're just not going to fuck with it as they would if you were in there like that, in that capacity, Yeah.
It's like literally investing in the community, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's like, it's part of the deal. It's like you go to the open mic. It's like, yeah, it's cheaper to eat at home, but that mic goes away if they don't make money. So you bring $12 and you have mozzarella sticks and a White Claw again. But
sounds like a dream come true.
Yeah, but I mean, that's how you keep it moving.
Right.
Yeah.
And by doing that and being good citizens, you don't have minimums, or you don't have to buy on for stage time, all the other horse shit you guys have to deal with down there.
Yeah. And there is a lot because it is New York City. So I want to go back to the festival, right? Because
Sure.
Having seen it firsthand, and how great it was, what a wonderful experience it was. I know there was so much behind the scenes that you had to do. Like that was a task and a half. So like walk us through some of that. Like what was running a festival like for the first time, mind you. This is the first one you've ever done.
It was learning something new every time you tried to check another box off your to-do list.
Okay.
It was just like, all right, well, I had to figure out how to make a website. I don't know how to make a website.
Right.
How do you make one that's like visible, like doesn't look terrible, and also functional?
Mm-hmm.
I remember being like, Jim, check this out. Like proofread all this shit because I'm an idiot. And you're like, yes, you are. Here's what you did wrong.
Well, you're smart enough to know you're an idiot. So there's a lot of dumb people who don't know they're dumb, and that makes them really dumb.
That's true.
So,
and one thing I would not recommend, and one thing that was really fantastic, I never expected there to be a ton of interest. Right? I assumed it'd be very, very regional focused, which it was, but we'd probably get 30, 40 people submitting.
Right.
Right. But we ended up with over 80 people submitting. Which
wild.
For a first time small town festival really knocked my socks off. And I would say the biggest mistake that I made was making plans with Josh from Crooked Mouth to watch all the tapes in one night.
Yeah. That's not how that works.
No, it's not going to work that way again. Absolutely not. No.
What? How much time did you ask people to submit?
5.
5. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and well, inside baseball, guess what we didn't do? Watch all 5. If someone was really good, then obviously you're like, oh, great. Or someone was good enough, you wait to see. And if your first minute and a half sucks, sorry, man. You need a better tape.
Yeah, and that's just getting a little inside baseball of comedy of just like that. There's a reason why the structure of a 5-minute set is the way it is, right? You open with a quick laugh, like what you look like, or the
current events of that day, or whatever it is. Yeah.
And then you get into like your perspective, your point of view. Right. And then you call back to the beginning. That's a 5-minute set. So when you're watching it, like as somebody who's looking, you're looking for that quick laugh at the beginning of just like, okay, they got me hooked. So, but 80 tapes in one night. That's 80 times 5. That's 400-ish minutes of.
Yeah. And there were some people who were, it's like, oh, well, I've seen Will Phillips 26 times.
Right.
I don't have to watch his tape. Like I've paid him to headline that room.
Sure.
He's in. So that saved a few minutes. There's some people who were like, yeah. But there was a lot of people who, and it was really humbling that so many people were willing and wanting to be a part of it and take a chance on me. And I never thought I'd be in a position to have to tell 40 people no thanks.
Right.
And like that felt bad. But also it was like, man, okay. They've seen that for the last year and a half, these shows have been popping off and it's been good. They see it on the social media, so they're betting on me
right
to be able to pull this off. And the thought of disappointing 40 comics who are driving anywhere from 20 minutes to 4 hours to come do a spot, I would have been mortified if they were doing that for no money and doing a comedy for 18 people.
Yeah.
I would have quit. I was like, no, I'm never doing this again. Because your reputation is everything.
Yeah, and you know what it's like to drive to Peekskill and have like a shit weekend and paid X amount of money to go do it. So like, it's you want to try and do right enough by the world where like you don't have those shit experiences. So you've got the tapes. That's one part of it. But like, talk a little bit about just like was there something different as far as promotion went? Because I know you've been running shows for some time. Did you take a different approach to the festival?
Yeah. As far as for the promotions itself, I had because I'm dumb and I'm not very capable of doing things for myself. I had someone else do my flyers for the posters, because I wanted it to look different. I wanted to, like, something where if they saw this ad or whatever, it wasn't that same thing they've been seeing.
Right.
So that would catch their eye a little bit. And then I also tried really hard to pull from, like, not that like everyone we bring in I think is funny and is a strong headliner, but I wanted those shows to feel like some people we have like returning people that we love. Well, also we had some people with like national credits that haven't come up through Binghamton before.
Right.
And it was really important to try to like, hey, here's a couple showstoppers.
Mm-hmm.
And, I hired a publicist to do a press release. We submitted to newspapers, local radio. I went on the radio. I went on TV to promote it. Threw a ton of money behind advertising. Definitely went 2 or 3 times as hard as I normally would for the regular showcase show.
Right. Yeah. Which makes sense. I mean, you had, what was it, 4 nights?
4 nights, 5 shows.
4 nights, 5 shows. All of them sold out, like, which is a fucking feat and a half. If you know anything about promotions or you know anything about a comedy show, like selling out 5 nights in a row is a fucking feat and a half. So
small miracle.
Yeah. Well, you've got a brand, right? Like people know to trust you and trust running the show. You to run the show, So then I guess that brings us to the present and the future. What do you have coming up? What's on the horizon? What do you got on the horizon for yourself?
The goal for 2025, my goal for this year personally with comedy was to, if someone asked, have enough time to be able to do like a headlining spot.
Sure.
And, to be like, okay, I've got 40, I can go do this. And thankfully, in 2 weeks, I've got 2 of those opportunities coming up, November 13, November 15.
Oh, that's
so I'm
great.
very excited about that. Yeah. And so a little bit mortified, but it'll be great. It will be great. And if it isn't great, doesn't matter. The stakes couldn't be lower. Sorry to people promoting those shows. I don't mean it.
I'll edit that out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate you.
We'll take care of that in post.
And then as far as for 2025, we're just trying to go really, really hard at Crooked Mouth and bring a lot of more good shows up. Like during the festival, the Sunday, we did a brunch show, and that was a huge success. And so coming up this weekend, we have another one, and that one's already sold out 2 weeks before the show.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so we've got another one for January, another one for February already booked. And then we're really trying to put our big boy pants on with some headliners for coming through. And I'm waiting to, I don't have 100% confirmation on them, but these are guys who are national headliners who are, coming through. And it's really, really exciting for me to be like bringing up like, these guys are headlining your Funny Bones, your Laugh Factories,
right?
In all these spots are passed at the Comedy Cellar, but they're coming to Endicott too, and that's really exciting for me.
Yeah, and I, as somebody who again is a product of the 607, is to have that be a part of the world of upstate New York is really dope to hear and see. and like as somebody who also does comedy in New York, it's wild that like these guys that I know, like, I've known some of the people that you've had headline your shows to be like, oh shit, you're going to Endicott? Word? All right, you going to Pat Mitchell's? All right, dog. I'm with it.
And hopefully they're coming back and you're like, how was it? And the biggest compliment is when like a week after a show, I get a text from someone who I don't know saying, hey, so-and-so said they had an awesome time.
Yeah.
And that I should reach out. Like, that's so validating because no one's ever going to be like to the promoter when they're leaving a show, yeah, dude, that fucking sucked. Peace. They're like, no, it was great. I had a good time. Thank you. Right?
Sure.
But
well, you want to
they're not just going and telling their friends it was great for shits and gigs. Like, they're not wasting someone else's time about it. Like, we just had Anthony DeVito up here.
Great guy.
And he reached out to me because Sean Murphy told him it was a great time.
Yeah. And, when I saw DeVito was going to be up there, I was like, that's fucking great, man. Because he's really fucking funny and a sweetheart.
Amazing.
Great guy.
A total mensch.
Yep.
Absolutely.
One of the best, man. So I was really delighted to hear that he had a great time and he was able to get up there and rock out with y'all, So,
yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? I feel like we have encapsulated the life and times of Stephen Brown as a comedian. I know there's so much more, but I feel like
I contain multitudes. Without a doubt, yeah.
You do. You absolutely do. But we do have another segment here for us, Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's. Rob, we have some questions, right?
We have some hard-hitting questions.
Okay, I'm ready.
I wanted to take the opportunity that we have in having someone else from the Triple Cities, which is, we've talked a lot about the Triple Cities over the last year on the show. So just to get like another perspective on, some what it's like being there. Again, they're going to be kind of softballs, I think. Aside from this first one.
Okay, I'm ready.
What, in your opinion, is the best place for speedies?
Best place for speedies. Oh, man. Lately, none of them.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I haven't
take.
had a good speedy sandwich that wasn't like cooked on someone's barbecue in a couple of years.
Wow.
People they're committing to other kinds of stuff at their spots, and their speedies, they're always dry.
Okay.
And so I would say right now, the speedy situation in Broome County is worse than it's ever been.
Wow. Jim.
There's
You hate to hear it.
There's another epidemic. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Oof.
Oh
Gonna wear their masks to keep the dry speedies out.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, we're breaking news. Wow.
Make them at home. Make them at home.
So a follow-up question, do you have a favorite marinade if you are making them at home?
I mean, you go with the Lupos, the standard.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the gold standard.
Another hard-hitting question, do you have a favorite Triple City?
Certainly not Johnson. Binghamton. I love Binghamton. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with Binghamton. Well, there's a lot wrong with Binghamton, but I think Binghamton is that's like the epicenter. It's Johnson City's whack. Like Johnson City's always been Johnson City.
Let's be honest.
And Endicott, it's Endicott.
It's the crown. Binghamton's the crown jewel of the Southern Tier.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's right, baby.
All right, so you can either get free tickets to the Rumble Ponies or the Whalers. Which are you going to, and why?
I'm going to the Rumble Ponies. I'm a baseball guy through and through.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'm a big Mets fan. My oldest son is named Shea after the stadium, and I don't have the mental capacity to learn the names of that many Eastern Europeans to get into hockey.
There you go.
That's the reality of it. It just seems too daunting.
Yeah, you've got your hands full with putting on shows and stuff. You don't need that extra work.
I don't have room for any more Alexis in my heart.
Sure. All right, let's see. I've got just a couple more here. Have you ever attended the Speedy Fest?
I did once.
Once. Okay. How was it? It's on my to-do list to like at the very top.
It shouldn't be. It's
oh no, God, we're learning so
no,
much.
it's listen, if you're passionate about paying $10 to go pay for other things, it's great. You know? But here's the thing, you could park at the movie theater and still see the balloons.
Okay.
And
okay.
I guarantee also on your bucket list is not seeing a concert of a washed up Eddie Money or the Cheetah Girls.
Oh, Eddie! I might pay to see a washed up Eddie Money.
Yeah. Well, when he performed in Binghamton, he was very drunk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You love it.
Yeah. It was. He was struggling. But yeah, so it's like you really only go if you want to see the concert.
Okay.
And the concert is getting better, but it's I know they're bigger acts just because I hear people talking about it, but it's all country and I'm so disconnected from it. I don't know.
Sure.
But no, the Spiedie Fest it's nowhere near as good as the Crooked Mouth Comedy Fest. I'll tell you that. That's for sure.
All right. There we go. That's a good plug. Well, we'll leave it there. It doesn't get any better than that. Stephen, thank you so much.
Yes.
For sharing your story with us. And I'm just really impressed with all the work, the intentional work you're putting into like foster and create this community there in Binghamton. And thank you so much.
Oh, thank you guys for having me. It's been a blast.
Much appreciated.
Jim, what a great conversation. It was really, really great getting to listen to Steve's story.
I mean, it. He's such a great guy and is working hard. And, it's just everything that he's worked for and that's coming to his world, like, I'm happy to see. Because, I saw it from the beginning. Like, he was 6 months in when he was hosting a show I was running. And look at him now, running comedy festivals, stunting on haters left and right. He's living his dream. I love it.
I mean, he's living his dream, but he did wake me up to a nightmare, which is the Spiedie situation in the Triple Cities.
That's hard to hear, man. You hate to hear it. None of them are hitting like they used to.
Man, that's bad news.
That's hard to hear. Tough Spiedie to swallow.
That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. Oh man, I tell you. But it sounds like, look, the door is open for someone to come in and really innovate the next wave of Spiediedom in Binghamton.
Sure.
And it's going to be you and me. We're opening up a Spiedie shop. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
First round of investment is open.
Yep.
And if that's too big of an ask, sending us money to open a Spiedie shop, hey, why don't you like, subscribe, or share an episode of this show? Help us out that way. A very low investment of about 1 to 2 minutes. Also, if you want us to open a Spiedie shop, we'll take your money.
Sure.
That's
why
fine
not,
too.
man?
That's fine too. It sounds like we can't do any worse than what people are currently doing.
It's funny.
So again, like and subscribe. If you have something you want us to cover in a future episode, give us a 5-star rating and write us a positive review and throw your suggestion into that review, and we just might talk about it on a future episode. Jim.
Yes.
While Spiedie Freaks are waiting for next week's episode, do you have anything? Oh my God, and I forgot the Rattlesnake Pete's. I said at the beginning I wouldn't forget him, and here I did.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You set yourself up, man.
Wow, I really did. And what a callback. What a callback. A whole hour later. Anyway, anything that you would like to recommend to our listeners?
Yeah. So here's the deal. Let's say you just have come from the Crooked Mouth Comedy Night. right, over at Crooked Mouth Brewery. You had a blast. You enjoyed Stephen Brown's effervescence, his wit, his charm. And you're like, man, this is such a great night. I want more comedy. The brain, your brain is on fire now. And you're like, how do I get it? Well, here's how you do it. Is you go and find my album, Upstate Understandings, and you buy it. You buy a copy of it. You find it on wherever you get your digital streaming platform, wherever you listen to music, you can get it there, iTunes, all of it. Anyway, go do it. Jimsearch.bandcamp.com is a place to buy those physical copies. And if you have SiriusXM, and you tune in to the Pure Comedy Station on Channel 98, you'll hear me. You will hear me. I am on that station. That is pretty wild to say. There have been a couple tracks from the album that have made its appearance. So if you are a SiriusXM person, tune in to Pure Comedy, and you just might hear your good friend telling some jokes. JimSearchComedy.com is where you can find all my show dates. I'm going to be over at Logan's Run on the 7th, and then I'm going to be at Bushwick Comedy Club on the 14th. So go pull up for that. And that is all I have. Rob, they've done everything that I've asked them to, but yet they still want more. Insatiable. These people are. They're insatiable. They need more. Can you help them out?
Yeah, let's just say we're time traveling a little bit. It's 2025, summer of 2025. You went all the way to Binghamton for the 2025 Spiedie Fest. You just bit into your first Spiedie, and it was dry as a bone. Dry as a bone. No flavor. The marinade's off. It only marinated for like 8 hours, not 24. You're distraught. You don't know what to do. The comedy, the Crooked Mouth Comedy Show isn't for a whole 6 hours, right? What are you going to do? You're going to go grab my album called New York Sticky at brooklynfrequency.bandcamp.com. It's going to soothe your soul. You're going to forget all about the dry Spiedies. You're not going to worry that the balloons are underwhelming. You're going to get lost in the sauce of my beautiful album. Go check that out. Also, we've got a documentary that's behind the scenes look at the making of Jim's album. Link in the description for all these things, and I believe we'll have some links to point you towards some of the cool things that Steven's doing as well. So check all those things out. Jim.
Yes.
What are we going to be checking out next week?
Oh, my gosh. Well, I'll tell you one thing. For you to get involved with what we're going to be doing next week, I'm going to ask that you follow the North Star to get there. All
right. Well, let's follow the North Star to our ending right now.
Sure.
And go to my delightfully dumb up pun ending. Are you ready?
Yes.
Well, Jim, we really yucked it up today, didn't we? Let's get on out of here. Did I use that one when we talked about the Catskills? I might have. Oh man. Oh no. I'm gonna really hear it now from the Spiedie Freaks and the Rattlesnake Pete's. I really need to go.
Understanding Upstate is a podcast hosted by Jim Search and Rob Adler, edited by Rob Adler, and music from Regal Monk.